Ladies and gentlemen, Allie Pearse.
Oh, thank you. Stop that. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Oh, you guys are laying it on thick. I actually hate that. No, that was amazing. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much for coming out. Give it up for yourselves one more time. Thank you so much. Yeah. Oh, this is awesome. This is great. I'm so happy you guys are here. Thank you for braving the alleyway to get in here. That is, I saged it before you guys came, just to be sure. Did anybody take public transit to get here? Yes? Oh, everybody else is rich? Okay, that's crazy. Did you take the subway? Yes. And you made it alive. My gosh. It's really dicey down there. I was walking, this happened to me 2 weeks ago. I'm getting on the subway. I'm walking onto the platform. There's a guy fully jerking off in there. Fully, yeah, I know. Call me old-fashioned. I waited for the next subway. I did not get on. I did make direct eye contact with him, you know, just to get him where he's going, but I did not get on. I'm a taken woman. I can't be getting on the subway. I just got married a week ago. I just got married. I know. I'm like, I got married. I can't believe it. I got married. They said it couldn't be done. So it is, yeah. My husband said that. That is what he said. The proposal when we got engaged was not a surprise. Because we had talked about getting married. You know, I was like, hey, do you want to get married? And he said yes. And then I put the gun down. No. I wish I had a gun. I would get so much done. The proposal was not a surprise, and then the ring wasn't a surprise because I picked it. I just think it's dangerous to let a man who wears cargo shorts pick jewelry, you know? So I chose this ring, and this ring was only $300. It's very modest, you know, only $300. You look too impressed. Don't get any ideas, okay? You're sitting next to somebody. This ring was only $300, and then I found out after the fact that my friend's engagement ring was $8,000. I was blown away. I told my husband, I was like, I don't need an $8,000 ring. I am very happy with my $300 ring. Just give me the rest in cash, you know, whenever. Whenever, we'll keep it off the books, you know? I just think this is the perfect ring for my first marriage. So I'm excited. I feel really good. Yeah, I feel really good. It's great. I'm not being pessimistic. It's just my cousin got married, and then she called me less than a month later, and she was like, I'm getting a divorce. I was like, I haven't even had my next period yet. How is that possible? I could not believe, and I gave her a cash gift at her wedding. I was like, what is the refund policy on this? It was less than 30 days. I do feel like weddings are a pyramid scheme. You know, like everyone at the top is making a whole bunch of money, and then their friends and family are like, yeah, I guess I'll invest, sure. And then 6 months later, you're like, what do you mean the company doesn't exist anymore? How do I get a refund? You don't get a refund because one of the founders of the company already put your money into a stripper's pocket, so it's gone. No, don't do that. It's not a pocket. You guys know what I mean. You knew what I meant. I have to go to so many weddings this year, so I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I'm not giving cash anymore. You can forget it. Then I realized, I'm like, okay, I'm going to write checks. I will write you a check if I'm going to your wedding, but I'm putting both your names on it. And I'm dating it for 2 years after the wedding, so you got to want it. No. You can cash it whenever. It's going to bounce. Of course, it will bounce. I knew that my husband loved me because he proposed to me in Los Angeles. Have you guys ever been? Yeah? Okay. If you've never, okay, well, I didn't know this about LA, but I'm a 4 in LA. So that was jarring. It is so good to be back where I'm a 7. That was crazy. If you are less than a 5 in LA, they can't see you. They're like, what was that shape? It's very weird. So I knew he loved me. I knew that he loved me. And we were both there for work. Individually, we travel a lot for work. I love traveling for work because I get to stay in hotels, and I love hotels. Make some noise if you like hotels. Yes. Oh my God, the girlies love hotels. I have a routine whenever I get to a hotel. I do the same thing. I check for bed bugs first. I check for murderers. You must. And then, I check if the shower head can make me come. And honestly, like, not necessarily in that order, you know, like, if someone's coming for me, I want to come for me first. That is, there can be a blood stain on the carpet, but if the shower head's detachable, I'm like, this is the Ritz-Carlton. I love it here. I love it here. We both travel a lot for work. My husband just spent a month in London. Oh my gosh. Wow. England. Sorry. Yeah. So, to be clear. My friend was like, London, Ontario? I was like, if it was London, Ontario, I would keep that a secret. I would not put it in the group chat. But we do. We spend a lot of time apart. He's a director. He directs like TV commercials and stuff. Yeah, I know. It's so chic. And I'm an actor, so kind of a power couple. Can you feel it? Can you feel the power? Truthfully, I've actually auditioned for him many times, and he has never cast me in anything. Yeah, I'm like, who do I need to fuck to get an acting job around here? Because it is not the director. And it is not his friend, so I don't know who it is. I'm like, where did this myth come from that women are sleeping their way to the top? I can't even sleep my way onto a Burger King commercial. This is crazy. What's going on? So we live together, obviously, and we split all of our bills. I mean, I'm a feminist, you know, I believe in equality, of course. Unless the bill's over $60. And then I'm like, I don't need the right to vote. I don't even remember to go. But we split our bills down the middle. That's not my preference. Like, I want you guys to know that is not my preference. If it was up to me, I would be a trophy wife. If I was hotter, I would not be here right now. I love you guys, but if I was hotter, I would be on a beach recovering from a labiaplasty. I would not be here. I wouldn't be here. And I like tell people that, and they're like, really? That's your goal? That's your I'm like, yeah, that's my goal. They're like, what about your purpose? I'm like, well, if someone is paying my bills, my purpose is to spread them. That's it. I don't need anything else. And truthfully, it's not that I'm saying I'm ugly. I just wish I was like the kind of hot where people were surprised that I was nice, you know? That was... Hate when people laugh at that. My husband and I both go to therapy, but Zoom therapy. So I know. We live in a 1-bedroom apartment, so he'll go into the bedroom, he shuts the door, I get a glass, I press it against the door. And then we all have therapy. Trickle down therapy. It's really effective. And I know for a fact, because I am listening, we are both talking about the subject of kids in therapy. Does anyone have kids in here? Just one irresponsible parent in a basement. We've been together for 5.5 years, so everybody keeps asking us when we're gonna have kids. And I hate that question because I don't wanna have kids with him. So it's awkward, you know? And we had a pregnancy scare. It was like a whole thing. I had to take Plan B. My pharmacist was like, welcome back. Get out your punch card. I will say this. You know what rocks about buying Plan B in your 30s? I paid for it on a credit card that gives me travel points. Isn't that amazing? I know. The next time we had sex, I was like, don't pull out. We're going to Europe. You know, I was like, I love to travel. I don't know. I don't know if I'm meant to be a mom. Like, every time I hold a baby, I'm like, oh, I love you so much. But then I also want to squish their soft little heads to see what happens, you know? A little, you know? It's like getting to play God. You're like, you're bad at math now. you love fedoras. You pronounce it supposedly. It is. It's interesting. I have a lot of friends who are moms, amazing moms. And then it's always funny when somebody is like trying to get pregnant. Like a friend will call and they're like, we're trying. I'm like, congrats on being full of cum. You know, like it's, what do you say? It's so weird. And I have this friend who I love, and I feel so bad saying this, but she's trying to get pregnant, and I don't think she's ready to be a mom. And I feel bad saying that, but this is somebody who very recently shit her pants, okay? Yeah. And I don't want anyone to feel bad, okay? Like, if you've ever shit your pants, don't feel bad. It happened to her when she was at home. She has 2 bathrooms. How is that possible? To be lying on your own couch and be like, let's just see what happens. Like, that blows my mind away. I couldn't believe it. I mean, she told me not to tell anyone. Oops. I had told my husband before we got married, I was like, I don't want to entertain the idea of having kids together unless we're engaged, which I know, I mean, that's like pretty traditional for a girl who owns a butt plug, but that is how I feel about it. I do own a butt plug. Yeah, I do. I do. I own a butt plug, and I am not ashamed, and you can't make me be ashamed of it. I am not ashamed of it. I am ashamed that I've never used it. Yeah, I am somebody who is kinky, in theory, you know? Like, anytime I started dating someone, I'm like, you're the luckiest man alive, because I'll do anything. Until I have to do it. And then I'm suddenly very busy, you know? I'm like inventing hobbies to get out of the house away from this butt plug, like truly. I don't even do stand-up comedy, okay? I was like, I have to go record an album. No, I am. I have this butt plug, and it's in my house, and I'm just like, I'm terrified of it. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this thing? And I'm an environmentalist, so I won't throw it out. There's no way I'm going to throw it out. So it's just sitting in my house. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do with it? And then the other day I was like, oh, I'm going to give it to my friend who keeps shitting her pants. That is how you recycle, truly. It's beautiful. I keep doing that. I keep like buying like sexy things that just are collecting dust in my house. I bought a waterproof blanket. For what? Do you know what I've used it for? Picnics. When the ground's a little damp in spring, that's it. I bought one of those like sex wedge pillows. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? They're like these huge, okay, you guys own one and I love that about you. Freaks. Well, I own one. I own one of these sex wedge pillows. The only thing it's ever been used for, my husband sleeps on it when he has heartburn. That's it. Has never seen an ass cheek. It is just sitting there. It's crazy. The only like kind of kinky thing that we do is we do role play a little bit. We like to role play that I have a real job. That's his number one fantasy. I was like, you don't want me to like plan a threesome? He was like, I would love for you to plan for your future. That would be incredible. I was like, you don't want me to bring another girl here? He was like, not unless she's a financial advisor. No, so. Incredible. Perfect laugh. I would love to have a threesome with my husband. I think that would be amazing. I would love to do that, but I'm a very jealous person. I can't like wrap my head around it. I was like, who would we possibly have a threesome with? And then I figured it out. I was like, oh my God, of course. I want it to be a girl. I want her to be hot, not hotter than me. And then I want her to die. So if you guys know any hot girls, you know, with a pre-existing heart condition, I'd love to connect. I would love to connect. But here's the thing. My husband and I use the pull-out method, which is so embarrassing. He'll be like, where do you want me to come? I'm like, I don't know, in another room. Like, get out of here. Oh my God. Isn't it embarrassing? The pull-out method, really? He will come all over my stomach, and then I have to create a leak-proof barrier with my arms, like I'm doing luge in the Olympics. I'm like, can't move. And then he has the audacity to come back with 2 squares of toilet paper. I'm like, oh, all of a sudden you're an environmentalist too. That's interesting. Bring the roll. I would do it myself, but I'm glued to the bed. Help me. And then I'm like, okay, well, what happens if we have a threesome? It's like, who are you going to come on? Right? The woman that you love or some girl who's going to die? That's a bad omen. We used to use condoms when we first started dating, but then he would always complain. He would be like, oh, they don't feel as good. It's like, yeah, obviously. They don't look good either, by the way. Looks like I'm being haunted by the ghosts of your dick. I'm like, what is that? Ugh. It's like a snake shedding. Ah. It's very ugly. But I stopped using condoms because I went to go see a naturopath. Has anybody here ever seen a naturopath before? Yes? Okay. Amazing. If you've never been to a naturopath before, it's like a doctor but a witch. That is really the vibe of a naturopath. So I went to go see her because when my husband and I, when we first met and we had sex for the first time, I got a really bad yeast infection. Sorry if you're having a beer. Sorry. And drink up. So I got this yeast infection and then it wouldn't go away. Like I did everything you can imagine. I did it. It wouldn't go away. So I went to go see this naturopath, and it was a very strange experience because I felt like I was having like an allergic reaction to the first man who ever respected me. You know, that's what it felt. My body was like, go find a DJ. Go. So I told this naturopath, I'm like, I have this yeast infection. I don't know what to do. She's like, it's actually really easy to solve. You just have to stop using condoms and stop wearing underwear. Whoa. I was like, what? And then she took off her mask and it was my husband all along. I was like, ah! Oh my God. It was like an episode of Scooby-Doo, you know? It was crazy. No. She's real. She's real. She taught me a lot about my body. I felt like I didn't really know much about my body. Like I still am learning so much. I don't even really know where I pee from. Do you guys know? Like, I know that I have 3 holes, but it's like, where are they? Like, where are they, you know? Because there's the hole that I pee from, wherever that is, the hole that I have sex with, obviously, and then my vagina. So it's like, what is going on? It's very confusing to me. Anyways. Some people are very like free with their bodies. I don't feel that way. I feel like this all the time. And then I had to go do a show at a sex club. I performed at a sex club, yes, as a comedian. Thank you. So I go do this show, and I was very apprehensive because I didn't know what it was going to be like. It was totally fine. It was like very community oriented, truly. Like they have yoga nights, they have comedy nights, they have gangbangs. It is like, yeah. There's a lot of networking going on in there. So I'm there and I'm like about to go on stage, and I saw the biggest dick I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen some dicks. This was crazy. It was so big. And the man that it was attached to, okay, truly it was walking him. I'm not like, it was insane. Right before I go on stage, he comes over and he goes, do you ever get nervous? I was like, do you? Because I don't know what you're picturing, but he was like this tall and 80 years old. I was like, if he gets hard, he is going to topple over. Like, his center of gravity is off, you know? And I saw it happen. For real, I saw it happen. This is true. He was standing by a window, okay, like this. Oh, looking outside. Like this. Oh. Nude. Not hard. And then suddenly, hard. And I thought, that is so beautiful. That is a man who grew up without the internet, you know? That's pure imagination. You and me, we see a car splashing through a puddle. He sees a woman squirting. And I just think, that is so beautiful. I really do. 80 years old at a sex club. That is so fun. I'm 35. I'm not fun anymore. I got invited to a party if you can believe. And I go to this party. There is a very sweet girl there in her 20s. She tried to offer me cocaine. I was like, I can't. If I do that now, it's going to have a domino effect on my sleep for the rest of my life. I can't do that. I can't even have a Diet Coke after 3 p.m. anymore. It's over. You want me to be fun at a party? Give me some Tums, you know? Let me enjoy the dips. The red pepper hummus. It's so different being in your 30s, truly. Like, when I was in my 20s, I was a vegetarian my whole life until recently. Is anyone here a vegetarian? I was a vegetarian my whole life, and it was so strange. Anytime I would go out to eat with my friends, they would always do the same thing. One of them would order meat, and then they would look at me and they'd be like, sorry. I'd be like, why are you saying sorry to me, you know? Like, am I next? What's happening? It freaked me out. And I was a vegetarian, but I aspired to be a vegan. That was my goal. But I always forgot you're not supposed to wear leather. Like, and I would forget that. I'm wearing leather right now. And to be fair, if it was up to me, I would wear human leather. You know, like I would love to wear the skin of a guy who's wronged me. I just think that would be so. I show up, you're like, is that a new pair of Jordans? I'm like, no, it's Jordan. It is Jordan. The ex-boyfriend collection, you know? But yeah, it's crazy. I changed my diet so much. I worked with this nutritionist. She was one that encouraged me to start eating meat. And then she told me to quit eating sugar. So I stopped eating sugar for a bit. I was like detoxing. It was so hard. And then one day my husband came home with a cupcake and I got horny. And then I got mad because I couldn't have it. And then suddenly I was like, oh, I understand incels. I get it. Yeah. I was like, somebody fuck those guys. And bring me a cupcake. Dating and like, I knew when I met my husband, I was like, this guy is the one. Like, I knew that because he had a savings account and a skincare routine. It was incredible because everyone I had dated up until that point, it was like, truly in my 20s, it was like so much work. Like, I would meet these guys and I felt like I was flipping a house. Like, I would look at them and I'd be like, oh, this one has a lot of potential. Like, a lot of potential and really good bones, you know? And then 3 months later, you're like, it's haunted. Why didn't anyone tell me that it's haunted? All the guys I dated in my 20s, they all used 3-in-1 products. What is going on? It is not normal for something to wash your hair, your body, and your dishes. That is not normal. It should be 3 separate products, absolutely. And I was dating this guy briefly, and he was using these 3-in-1 products. And I remember one time he was like, Allie, why is my skin so dry? I'm like, because you haven't had a glass of water this year. How about try that? It was so weird because his skin was so dry, but he lived in such a damp basement. His couch was like a dish sponge. It was crazy. I know. One time I was hanging out with him and I like the light bulb went off. I was like, oh my God, my period is late. I was like, I'm like, hey, my period's late. What are we going to do? He was like, oh, don't worry about it. We are going to smoke some weed because you need to relax. What? I don't know if it was like the unemployment in his voice, but I immediately got my period. My body was like, abort mission. Get out of there now. It's crazy. I use a Diva cup. Does anybody here use a Diva cup? Yes? Oh my gosh. Okay, I love them. I love my Diva cup. Do you know what a Diva cup is? I literally can't wait to tell you. It's really like simple. Women use them on their periods instead of tampons or pads. It looks like a little silicone shot glass. Isn't that fun? It's like, you know. It's not for everybody. It's definitely not for everybody because when you take it out, it's a cup of blood. Like it's very weird. I like it because once a month you can find me by candlelight with a full cup and a quill, just writing letters to the men I hate. You know, just letting them know. Before I got married, I was in a very serious relationship. And my ex really wanted to have kids with me, but he hated kids, and he kind of hated me. And I remember asking him, I was like, why do you want to have kids with me? You know, and he was like, oh, because I want someone to take care of me when I'm older. Yeah, I know. I was like, but you like whiskey and motorcycles. You don't have to worry about getting older. That is not going to be a problem for you. And then we were so serious when we were together that we bought a house together. Yes, we moved in together. And then I found out that he was fucking annoying. So, yes. Now I rent. Did you guys think he was cheating on me? He was also cheating on me. That is part of what made him so annoying. We actually, he cheated on me. We bought a couch together, and he cheated on me with the girl who worked at the furniture store. I know. I was like, when I found out, I confronted him. I was like, why would you do that? He was like, I was trying to get us a discount on a couch. I was like, I don't know how to tell you this, but as someone who's had sex with you, there's no way you were getting a discount. It was not in the cards. Anyways. He has a baby now. Doesn't fire react to my stories anymore. Okay. What a quitter. Cheating, truly, I think it makes people crazy. I was listening to a podcast. It was about this guy. He cheated on his wife with his boss, and then his wife found out, and she killed his boss. Yeah, and then she killed herself. Yeah, it's like, you forgot one. What happened? No wonder he cheated on you. You're so forgetful. Gotta write these things down. Make a list, honey. That was on a true crime podcast. Do you guys like true crime in here? Yes? Oh my God, yes. I love when the girlies say yes. I get very nervous when the men say yes. I'm like, that's research. That is research. It's scary. But I will say, I don't know if this is your experience. I do think it's warping my brain a little bit, right? Because when you listen to these podcasts, when there's a news thing, they'll be talking about these serial killers and they make them sound amazing. They're like, Kathy's killer was smart, attentive, and charismatic, making him the perfect killer. It's like, you're the perfect boyfriend, Say what you will about a serial killer, but ladies, he's not afraid of blood. So we do love that, okay? It really does, it has totally, changed the way that I see things. I was walking home from a show, and I listened to too much of this stuff, but I was walking home from a show, and I was listening to a podcast about a woman who stabbed her boyfriend to death. And then in real life, I saw a woman trying to stab her boyfriend to death. Yeah, I was like, I'm literally starstruck. This is incredible. I'm like, do what you need to do, but I would love to take a picture when you're done. It's just very rare to see a woman breaking the glass ceiling of domestic violence, so. I do live in kind of a sketchy area, and clearly I'm walking home, all these things are happening. I do live in a bit of a weird area, and so I was walking home one day, and this guy was following me home. I didn't know. For 3 blocks, he was following me home. And then this woman pulled over in her car, and she was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, why? And she's like, oh, that guy's following you. And I was like, what? My God. Then I'm like, no, that's the podcast. Don't, So I turned around and I was like, hey, can you please stop following me? And he was like, okay. And he crossed the street and I was like, oh, come back. You're such a good listener. I was like, I love him. I do, for real. I like the vibe of a stalker. I do, because it's very committed, Passionate. Anytime I come home and my husband's like, how was your day? I'm like, well, if you cared about me, you would already know. So how about do your research for once? I love my husband, and I love his family. They're so sweet. Every time, they live 3 hours outside the city, so every time we go visit them, we have to stay the night, which is so nice, but we have to sleep in his childhood bedroom. Yeah, it's really weird, because there's a poster, there's a bunch of posters from when he was a teenager, and there is a poster of R. Kelly in there. Yeah, it is glued to the wall. And it's right next to a picture of him when he was a child. I'm like, what am I supposed to look at when we have sex? You know what I mean? A picture of a known pervert or R. Kelly. It's not good. You guys, I've been Allie Pearse. Thank you so much for coming out. I appreciate you. Thank you.